Yeah, hi, my name is Patrick, and I've been writing poetry for, or at least working on some half-decent poetry for about 10 years, and dabbled it and played with it prior to that. It's a fun place to go visit. It's very rewarding, meaning go into the mind and come out with these poems or your feelings or your memories and your awarenesses, and not being afraid to say how you feel. And yet you can do all that, hopefully, in 24 lines, 30 lines, whatever it takes, 8 and 3 lines if you want. But that's where I was sort of pulled out. I tried writing paragraphs and long stories, short stories and all, but in long form wise, and I couldn't do it. So one time I tried putting my feelings and my thoughts of a paragraph or a very short story into a poem. That's how they say it up here now. Poetically, say it poetically. And yeah, so I said, cool, there's something here. And I used to use a lot of cliches and tons of rhyming. Now I backed off of that, and I learned over time to, as opposed to a cliche, sly as a fox, or, you know, bitter as winter and all, come up with your own sayings and make that same energy happen, but you color it. Use your words. There's millions of words are there, ways of saying things. Why I am going to have my shivers running up and down my back? Do it some other way. Ask Shakespeare. He's probably done it a few times, right? But yeah, it's about being creative, being open, not being afraid to hop over the fence and seeing what's on the other side. And that's where I am with my writing now, trying new things, learning, yeah, having fun with it, experimenting, and not being afraid to experiment. So what? Get it wrong? Just an experiment. You think they didn't get it, that they got it right all along with their Madame Curie or Einstein and those people? Many times over. Yet, look where they've come afterwards. Not that I'm a scientist, no good at math, but it's about trying and don't give up. And that's where I am with that stuff. And it's fun. It's rewarding. And especially just to yourself. You don't have to show the world, or Whitby, or someone at the mall. No, do it for yourself. Don't let them control you. Do it for yourself for sure. It's fun. Thank you. So the first poem I'm going to do here, it's called Did You Tell Them? And it's about all the wonderfulness we have about us. The trees, the sunlight, the water, the dragonflies, the clouds, the sky, everything. And it comes about because of my friend Lauren, who passed away. He had diabetes, and he died in a coma. And I grew up with him back in Newfoundland. And yeah, it's about all the magnificence that surrounds us, and we shouldn't close our eyes to it. Did you tell them? As you climb north into the stars, away from the clatter of teacups in that last coma, did you glance back? Could you see the pond and the wild ponies? And as you turned the new soil and scratched the new cave, do you hear the new song? Does it spill over with raucous color? And as you travel that canyon, do you chat with the lost and the pagans of purgatory? Are there virtues or statues? Are there sunflowers? Are there any dragonflies? Do you remember the ones on our hill? Are you there? Have you been to their oracle? Opulent, I would think. And the harp, did you pluck it? Did you sit at their table in your new wardrobe? Are there windows? Can you hear me? Is there conversation? Did you tell them what you found here, what you left behind? Did you? Did you tell them of buttercups and fairies? And the kindness of rain and the echoes of autumn? A brook trout and snowflakes. Snowflakes, do you remember with your tongue stuck to the sky? And did you tell them of laughter and bonfires and the splatter of... Are you there? And dreams and hummingbirds and chasing leaves. Did you tell them about the meadow, lying there, staring out at night into that paralyzing void? And did you tell them of turquoise and turtles and Tchaikovsky and blueberries and bread and hugs and The next poem, it's a similar features, similar idea, and it comes from the idea, not today though, or the name, it comes from this gentleman we knew back home. He was about 70 odd years old in a small little village, and he used to come visit my grandparents. His name was Jimmy Scribbler, and they gave him that name because he couldn't write. They called him Scribbler. And anyway, he said he had been drinking a number of nights at Grandma's and Nana's and Grandfather's place, but he had, one night he left about whatever, 2 or 3 in the morning. He came back next morning about 10 a.m., and I guess he wasn't feeling too good, and he's sitting around the table, and he said, you know what? One day I'm going to give up drinking beer, but not today though. And so this is the title of my poem, Things We Shouldn't Give Up. It's about, once again, the magnificence that dances about us. Not today though. A time will come when soil will fallow, when I will leave my sister's tea, my brother's smile. A time will arrive when the brook runs shallow, and I will take the hand of a wandering star, and I will be missing a child's question, a hole in the fence, a field of dandelions. Not today, though. One day dawn will bid adieu to barefoot dancers, cities of light, forget-me-nots, and I will long for a scribble of words, a friend's embrace, an April Fool's lark. A time will come when force falls tired, when trails end, and when leaves follow. A time will come when I will fall from the ashes of this great bonfire's roar, and maybe tuck myself away down into some grains in a silent cove, listening for the children, waiting for their smiles. This one's called Orchids, and this is about, it's amazing what happens out there. We have pain, suffering, unkindness, wrongness, depression. And out of all of that, you still see people with smiles. We can have the opulent and the great and the fancy and fantastic, and there aren't any smiles. Yet there are people who live in the thorns of abuse and wrongness, and still somehow you see them in the morning with a glint in their eye, and yeah, I'm alive. This is called Orchids, and it's about hope, it's about the future, especially for the wee ones to carry on and bring out smiles all around. What is this dream, this wonder, this peculiar blue planet that brightens the berry, vomits the wine onto shoes of sapphire, sorrow, granite, unto this impartial arc, this casket of time? What is this storm that punctures the heart with song, sculpted with tears enough to drown a sea, where voice is a peril and prayer is a perfect gun, where love is a leper and night prowls without pity? But upon this dot of wound and dearth, where the kernel squirms beneath the clutter, there will be in the turning of this earth orchids blooming from the pus of the gutter. For from the hued wombs of tomorrow's spawn, children will rise, sifting darkness from dawn. This is called The Spider, and this is about overcoming fear and doubt. This poem came about because I saw this little spider one morning in a cold, wet, rainy morning, windy and all. And the little spider probably went from here, or its little thread there through the air, to about 3 feet away, so from one bush to another. I said, how'd you do that? That's brilliant. So this is about overcoming fear and doubt. The spider. Fragile art caught in a vacant sky. I must move out from the home port, but to where and why? What is this feeling that comes from within that whooshes its bellows again and again? What's out there? What's on the other side? And if I go, will they accept me? Will I fit in? Or if I'm caught in the morning rains and listen to that wind howl. And besides, I only have 7 legs. But still, I must go. Do I know to where I am going? Am I even halfway to a destination unknown? Maybe I should turn back again. Wait. Does it matter to where I am going? Does it matter how far I have gone? For I have decided not to stay in this web. And I have decided not to bury my head. For I am a spider. And a spider must spy. And I am a spider. And a spider must spin. Does it matter if I get blown away in that wind? No, for I am still a spider. And I will cast away again and again and again. This one's called That Other Place. We were given a prompt, a poetry group I belong to, and the prompt was, complain about getting your coffee wrong, or there's a line up in the bank and you got to wait 5 minutes. And I said, really, is that a complaint of life? So this comes from that idea that cannot be my complaint. It's called That Other Place. It will be such an annoyance when we slip away to that other place, to arrive with suitcase fully empty. It will be such an annoyance when that train pulls out into that space, to find imagination blacklisted, left back there on that dreamy platform, left to wonder why. No song, no mockingbird, no rolling sea could travel that train to that other place that is quiet of laughter and bumblebees and quiet of the willows and the wind in the trees. That other place where the peasants and the painters pause beneath that tree, where the poets close their eyes. That other place, the sleeping field where Shakespeare's quill stands still in a cobalt night, and the child asks no questions. This one's called Once Everything Was Beautiful, and it's about a memory growing up just outside my house, down by the brook in a little field. It must have been maybe a nice warm Saturday morning, clouds all about. Yeah, lots of things happening near the brook and up in the trees and all. I just sort of caught with all of that. So this is just a memory of that. Once everything was beautiful. How is it? With a certain scent, a certain moment does appear, untainted, unwashed as it was that other year. One that huddles leaves onto a willow, that gathers morning round a cocoon, near a stream tickling the backs of boulders, below a sky laden with bowls of sun, where huffs of summer send cotton ball clouds and swallows swaying. Just out of reach of a tippy-toed child, tousled hair and freckles, worn shoes and wishes. Thank you. Thank you. That was good. Thank you very much, all you people.